What's up guys, just doing a pickups video, which I haven't done for a while because, let's be honest, these days I don't buy as many games as I'd like because, one, money, and two, I don't have time to play them, you know, we're all fakers a lot of the time on this YouTube, but it's so hard to find the time to play the backlog, let alone new titles, so that's why I say God bless the Switch really, because it's so much easier for me just to pick up and play that for 20 minutes, half an hour at night before bed, rather than sitting in front of the TV having the console set up and stuff. So I play a lot more handheld mode on my Switch than on docks mode, but it just makes things so much more comfortable, which kind of actually leads to the pickups I do have, which are actually all handheld related because most of them are 3DS, but they were all presents actually, so Christmas presents or money I got for Christmas that I've spent on something. So yeah, it's there's one other game I need to get quickly. I'm just gonna shoot. So first up, I'll talk about a game that I got actually as a present. It was bought for me, but I think the person who knew it was from my in-laws, I believe, and they knew I'd wanted the game. And that is Luigi's Mansion 3. Never really played the original game on the GameCube, but my friend had it and I used to watch him play and thought it looked pretty cool. We never owned a GameCube properly. I had friends at uni who owned one, so we just played that religiously. And then obviously I got a Wii and I probably should have picked up Luigi's Mansion, but just never got round to it. Never really started collecting for the GameCube. It's something I'm looking into in the future. But in saying that, I did love Luigi's Mansion 2 on the 3DS. I got that as a leaving gift when I left a previous job several years back, actually quite close to its release in 2013, and I was playing it actually in the build up to this coming out, just to get my fix really, because I knew I wouldn't be getting this for a while, but it's great to have got it in the collection. Like I say, I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but heard such great things, so glad to have that. I'll talk about another Switch game I've picked up, which is still sealed at the moment. I haven't played unwrapped it yet, and that's Bloodstained. And I was going to say Curse of the Moon, but that's the 8-bit one that you can download. This is Ritual of the Night, and so it's made by one of the original developers for the original Castlevania series. I think it's the original Castlevania series, and then like Symphony of the Night and all the popular ones basically. So it is like a spiritual successor to Castlevania, because Konami just can't be bothered with it at the moment. I guess that releases their sort of compilation 8-bit, 16-bit collections, which is cool because I do want to get that and the Contra one as well. But I'm all about the physical. And actually, I got this for only $19.99, I think, or £20.99 or something in Argos's sale. So to own the physical version of that's great. I was umming and ahhing about on the eShop, but I think it's at least that price even when it's on sale. So to get the physical version is great. I know the Switch version was a tad buggy on its release, but I think they've released a patch or two since to clean up any lag and frame rate issues and stuff. And I mean that stuff, as long as it doesn't make the game unplayable, that stuff doesn't kind of bother me. We were used to it when we were younger, and then things never got patched out then. So living a life of luxury now. So yeah, Bloodstained, glad to have that to the collection. Really look forward to playing that. In fact, I might squeeze in a bit of gaming with that tonight. In the mood for that sort of game. And the other 4 games that I've got as presents or bought with Christmas money are all 3DS games, because I want to do a video about 3DS collecting soon, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I kind of have a wish list of what's left of 3DS games that I want to get, and I managed to tick off 4 of them titles straight like that, and I think I've probably got less than 10 left, and it's a great time to be buying for 3DS because a lot of the titles I'm after are reasonably priced. So there's nothing stopping me getting them. If I notice they start going up in price a little bit, I'm going to probably have to jump on them while I can, but I could probably pick up the next 10 that I really want for a little over £100 in total if I shop smart about it. So I'll keep an eye on them totals to see if they're going to start raising soon, and if they do, I'll just jump and pick up what I want soon. So first up was actually, I think this was a launch title, and it's Pilot Wings Resort, which I've yet to take the price tag off. So £4 for that. Obviously Pilot Wings is not a game that the Nintendo visit enough, I don't think. Obviously it launched on the SNES, launched on the N64, and launched on the 3DS, so they like to use it as a I mean, you know, they always say that Pilot Wings is kind of like a tech demo for Mode 7 on the SNES. Not so much on the N64 3D games, kind of everywhere. But on the 3DS, you know, it's kind of almost a tech demo again for the 3D capabilities of the 3DS. So I've yet to play this version. Loved the one on the SNES, never could complete it because I sucked up. I'd get to like mission 3, I don't think I could ever get past like that. N64, used to play around my mate's house who had his N64. Used to just like taking the photos and just doing more the sandboxy sort of just flying around and stuff. I enjoyed that rather than actually really focusing on the missions. This, I'm guessing, would be quite similar to the N64 one, but if it's anything like the other games in the series, I mean, it's very laid back. I'm going to quite enjoy that. The other one I picked up with some cash for Christmas was WWE All Stars, which I remember playing around at Rudy's place on the PS3 or something. I think we've actually put a video out of that. I think we put it Pad Pushers or something. So I'll try and find a link to that. And I couldn't quite get into the arcadey way of it, but the more I've looked into the game since, and obviously this is the only WWE game released on the 3DS, kind of wanted it in the collection. It was only £6 and it's been fluctuating between 6 and 10 in CEX recently, so to get it for 6 I thought I'd pick it up then. I had a quick spin of this the other day actually, and it plays, apart from the over-the-top finishes and everyone just being proper jacked and that, it kind of does play a little bit like the old sort of SmackDown games from the PS2 era, so a little bit more simplistic. And I quite like the sort of like the mode you can play where it's like dream fights of old versus new, so they got like CM Punk versus Austin, and they do these cool promo videos, it like as a build up to the match, as if it was like going to really happen. So you know, yeah, it's kind of cool to get that quite cheap, and it plays really well on the 3DS. It plays basically like the PS2 version, I'm assuming, so that was kind of cool. Next two ones again picked up in Argos, because they're having a bit of a 3DS clear out almost at the moment, sort of cheap games. Although these weren't particularly any cheaper. I think they're about £12.99, which is still quite cheap for the Nintendo Selects games, and these were two on my list to get definitely for the 3DS. And that's Paper Mario Sticker Star. I think I think it got decent reviews on release. It's quite, you know, it's one of the earlier 3DS titles, I think 2012. Obviously, Paper Mario fans can't get over how great the Thousand Year Door was on the GameCube. I never played that one, you know, as a non-GameCube or our particular RPG lover. So, you know, I haven't got that bar to set, but I quite enjoyed Super Paper Mario on the Wii, which really isn't much of an RPG anyway. And I've got a few of the Mario and Luigi games, including the Paper Jam one, which is a crossover between Mario and Luigi games and the Paper Mario game, and I quite enjoyed that. So, plus, as you know, I'm trying to complete, you know, not complete, but keep buying the Mario games. You know, I'm going for the complete core Super Mario line of games, 3D and 2D, and then any spin-offs. You know, it's nice to own. You know, these are the games I want to bring my son up playing. You know, so he's going to have such a great Mario museum of games to play, you know, when he's a bit older, and I really hope he appreciates being able to go through the history of Super Mario, because Mario's going to be relevant for many more years to come, so he'll be wanting to play the latest game on the Switch or the system after the Switch by the time he's playing. But he can come back, and you know, I've got a spare 3DS now, my original 3DS, that I'm going to pass on down to him and my daughter. I'm going to get her one as well, so we can all play, you know, that's going to be ideal. So yeah, Paper Mario Sticker Star, and then Kirby Triple Deluxe, and I kind of got an odd history with Kirby. Like, I really loved Kirby's Adventure on the NES. It was one of my all-time favourite games, and I'll still go back to that and play that occasionally. But then I've only played dribs and drabs of later releases, you know, from never really owning an N64 in its prime and never owning a GameCube properly. And I didn't ever buy Epic Yarn or the Kirby's Adventure game on the Wii, and yeah, I want to add them to my collection, I really do. Played one of the Game Boy Advance games, the something Mirror, I think, because I had it as part of my 3DS Ambassador program. And yeah, that was a good game, but never really dove in the same way as I did on sort of Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. I had that as well, but that was very simplistic. And then Kirby's Adventure is such a great NES game, really pushed that game system to the limits. So yeah, they are my pickups. Not particularly retro, so I'll have to go back and change the name of my channel again from retro gaming to just video gaming. But no, I mean, when it comes to Nintendo, you know me, that's what I do. So really, yeah, happy with them just because they really add to the collection. They're going to go on the backlog list, and you know, struggle to play these, but sort of games I could possibly play a little bit of. Funnily enough, when our baby daughter's due in less than 2 months now, and you know, there are going to be times when she's going to be up at night or just want to settle on me, and maybe I can get my arms around and play some games. I managed to do it with Arthur while my wife's getting a rest, so you know, a well-earned rest, bless her, and we'll see. But I might be clutching at straws a little bit because I know having 2 kids only 2 years apart is going to be difficult. It's like I'm getting used to that. But we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a good time. The other thing I wanted to have a quick chat about in this video is we went to a place called Kong's in Birmingham, which is basically a bar / restaurant, but mainly a bar. And their gimmick is they've sort of got an arcadey thing about it. And you know, I enjoyed what was there. However, the arcade bit seems a little bit more tacked on to what is just really a bar. So you know, they're a bar, they sell food. The arcade bit's a little bit tacked on, but the games, you know, that they had there were it's almost as if they'd gone on Wikipedia and Googled in best beat 'em up in the arcades, best shooter in the arcades, best sort of old school golden age arcade machine, and they've got these machines. However, they're not original machines. They're built, the cabinets look great, but they're all LCD screens, and obviously they've been built specifically with that in mind. Like they had the Turtles 4-player game, but it was much more modern design cabinet, but it looked like an official cabinet. So I don't know if that game, you know, Konami put that out over the years. It seems it must have, but it was a 4-player one. I'm not sure if I took any photos of that. But they had, it's bad because I only went a few weeks ago and I really should have done my research for this video. But what else did they play? So they had Golden Axe there. I think it was one of the final fights. They had their Street Fighter 2. I think it was Championship Edition. And then they had a Donkey Kong machine, I believe. What shooter did they have, which I had good fun playing? It's going to annoy me that I can't remember now. And it actually was a game, you know, I'm obviously familiar with. I'm going to have to do my research and I'll pop it in the comments. But yeah, it was one of the top-down shooters, and that was a lot of fun. So the games they had there were great to play, you know, the actual titles. However, because it wasn't original hardware or anything, it was kind of like a little bit of a gimmick. But I think my wife enjoyed playing. She enjoyed playing Bubble Bobble. That was there as well, so that was cool. Then they had a multi-unit which had probably a dozen or so games on with Pac-Man and a few of the older Golden Age, maybe Centipede or something, Frogger and games like that. So yeah, it was cool. You know, we didn't stay for food. We had a couple of drinks. I know there's one in Bristol, I think, and there's a few more sort of in the southwest sort of area, I think. So they are a chain, and you know, they have got a gimmick, but it looks like at night, you know, like I said, they've got 7 or 8 arcade machines. I think they had an air hockey table and table tennis or something. So very student-y vibes, and they look like they've got a DJ booth and a dance floor, and their opening hours are quite late, sort of 2, 3 in the morning. So imagine it can get pretty busy at night, and it was in the city centre too of Birmingham. So only a 5-minute walk from New Street or something, and like the ball ring. So I can imagine that the football would be quite good. But I'd say if you're in the area, go check it out. I wouldn't say go make a specific trip to it if you're looking for the arcade scene, because I know there are other places that are more catered with the original cabinets and stuff, you know. So if you're a purist, then you're going to want to go somewhere like there rather than just somewhere like Kong's. But like I say, if you're a gamer in the area, an old school gamer in the area, and you want to go for a bite to eat or a drink, you might as well go there, because you know you can play the cabinets. One thing I'll say is a lot of these newer build cabinets, you know, the sound was poor. The emulation of the sound, not very good at all. So I think, actually, don't take my word for that. Like the emulation may be fine, but the speaker system is very poor. They're just not as good as the old cabs that were pumping out that sound. So the Turtles one was loud and proud, we'll say, but the Golden Axe and that was very much like them sort of Sega Genesis Act games, or whatever whoever put them out in this country, systems where the sounds just sound a little off or a little bit tinny or something. So you're not going to get that full arcade experience. But you know, the decor there was cool, and they had a little photo booth you could take some photos in and stuff. So yeah, we had a good time there. It was worth the trip, and we managed to do a bit of shopping, and it was just a nice day out. So yeah, like I say, if you're going anyway to one of these cities where they've got one, pop in. You know, it's worth it. But otherwise, don't make that long trip. if you're really after a full arcade experience. Anyway guys, cheers for watching. I actually rambled on a fair bit longer than I expected for a 6-game pickup video, but there'll be some more old school stuff next time on a pickups video, I hope. But you know, some of these games are, you know, 7, 8 years old. That's kind of old school, you know, I guess. Kind of. You know, if you agree with that. But yeah, cheers guys, and we'll catch you again soon. Cheers.